Hey guys, and welcome back to Real Talk Fitness, where we don't just talk about reps and routines, we talk about life. I'm Ashley Cummins, your host, the owner of AMPT, but also a busy mum of 2 boys, a wife, and I also compete in powerlifting myself. So today I want to talk about the kind of health that most people avoid. Your financial health. Not investing, not business tips, not crypto, just your everyday relationship with money. Because money is emotional, right? It affects our confidence, our stress, our relationships, and our ability to feel safe. And today, the thing that I really want to dive into is your relationship with money if it's unhealthy. So some people can be earning 6 figures and still feel like they're broke inside. And that's where the book, The Art of Spending Money by Morgan Housel really shifted how I think. Because it's not about what you make, it's about how you feel about what you have. So let's dive in. What is financial health really? Financial health isn't about how much money you make. It's about how safe and in control you feel with the money we have. So the book, The Art of Spending Money, Morgan writes, wealth is what you don't see. That one line changes everything because being rich and being wealthy are not the same thing. Being rich is visible, right? It's the car, the bag, the holidays on Instagram. It's the short-term hit of validation, that external proof that you must be doing well. But being wealthy, that's quiet. It's the safety net that you don't post about. It's the buffer between you and the panic. It's the ability to breathe when something goes wrong, not because you have more, but because you have enough. You see, financial health is emotional health. When your money feels uncertain, your nervous system feels it first. Your heart races every time you open your bank app. You lie awake, running through numbers in your head. You start spending impulsively or working overtime. Not because you want to, but because your brain is trying to get out of danger mode. Money stress is literally a real thing, and it affects us more on a physical perspective than what we're willing to admit. It triggers that fight or flight. Your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a lion and being chased by unpaid bills. And this gets back to all the podcasts that I've recently done in terms of how our body works. Our body is quite simple. It takes us back to those caveman days, the way our body responds to stress. Our body doesn't determine whether the stress is, in this day and age, or whether, as I just said before, being chased by a lion. The reaction is the same in our body, our adrenaline, our cortisol, and our survival thinking. And that's why 2 people can earn the same amount but live completely different emotional realities. One can feel free and calm, and the other can feel like they're drowning. And this isn't about the dollars. It's about the emotional regulation. It's about whether your body believes you're safe. So when you start caring for your financial health, just like you do your physical health, you're not just balancing a budget, you're rewiring your nervous system. We're teaching your brain, I can handle this. You're replacing chaos with calm and panic with presence. And that's what real wealth feels like. It's not luxury, it's not excess, but peace of mind, that quiet confidence that you're secure, you're capable, and you don't need to prove it to anyone. Because at the end of the day, being rich might turn heads, but being wealthy lets you rest your head at night. And that brings me to where your money habits begin. Most of the beliefs we have about money didn't start when you opened your first account. They started long before that. This is everything that people don't see, right? They started with you and what you saw growing up. Maybe you grew up hearing, we can't afford that. Or you watch one parent work themselves to exhaustion just to keep food on the table. Or maybe money was the one thing no one ever talked about. So you learn early that it was private, stressful, or even shameful. Those experiences write the first chapter of your financial story. If money was scarce, you'll probably carry that scarcity today, saving hard but never feeling safe. If money was used as a reward, you've been good, let's buy something, you might still spend for validation. If money was chaotic, you might now crave control and find yourself checking your account 10 times a day. But here's the part that's both confronting and freeing. You didn't choose those habits, but you can choose to change them. Like anything in the podcast that I've spoken about in Real Talk Fitness with AMPT, is that the beauty of awareness means that you can create change. In the book, The Art of Spending Money, Morgan says, people don't want to be rich. They want to feel rich. And you know what? That really hit me because it's so true. Most of us aren't chasing money itself. We're chasing what we think it will make us feel. It can make us feel safe, proud, relaxed, worthy. And that's where mental health and money overlap. If your nervous system has never known safety, you'll try and buy it. If love or approval felt conditional growing up, you'll try to earn it with work or possessions. If you were taught that success equals exhaustion, you'll try and burn yourself out trying to prove your value. But here's the shift. Once you see the link between your past and your payslip, between emotion and spending, you stop operating on that autopilot. You start making choices from awareness and not anxiety. So next time you catch yourself saying, I just need to make more money, pause and ask yourself, do I need to feel more secure? Because earning more won't help if that emotion underneath hasn't changed. That's why when people win the lotto and end up broke again, their mindset never moved with their money. So your financial health does relate to your physical health. And your financial health begins when you start rewriting that story. When you decide that stability doesn't mean struggle, that money isn't something to fear, chase, or hide from. It's something to partner with. And that's where the healing starts. Before you can change your financial habits, though, you got to know where and why you actually spend money and where you stand. Not just in your bank account, but in your body, right? So financial stress can look like anxiety when you check your bank balance. You swing between saving hard and spending big, like an all or nothing diet, right? You tie your self-worth to how much you earn or what you own. You overwork because rest feels unsafe unless you're ahead. And in reality, we're never ahead if we never think we are, right? You feel guilty for enjoying what you spend, or you panic after you do. I know I do. When I booked that family holiday to Fiji, I think the weeks after, I spoke to my husband, Steve, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And he goes, well, if you don't want to do it, cancel it, get your money back. And at kind of that moment, I was like, why am I stressing so much? And for me, it's that safety, is that growing up is I never felt safe. So when you identify how you react, how you spend, and then you realize the link between your physical and mental health to your financial health, you'll really understand and appreciate this podcast. So financial health looks like you know where your money's going and you're honest. You spend with choices that feel aligned with you, not that make you anxious. You can treat yourself without guilt. You sleep easier because you've built some margin of safety net, however small that may be. You trust yourself. It's not about being perfect with your finances. It's about being present. Financial wellness isn't numbers on a spreadsheet. And that's what I said at the start of this podcast. This isn't about teaching you to budget. This isn't about teaching you to invest. This is about making you aware that how much your financial health actually affects your mental and physical health. And it all comes down to how we look at it, right? Like anything in life, two people can look at the same cup. One person sees it as half full. The other one sees it as half empty. And if we are aware of how this affects us, awareness is the first part of change, right? You can start living your authentic life. You can release yourself of that financial, emotional, and mental stress that you may carry. And when that calm starts to show up with your financial wellness, that's when you know your relationship with money is finally healing. Now, you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with health and fitness? But financial stress can also identify people's self-worth and always constantly moving that goalpost. So this one's huge because it's not really about money, right? It's about our worth. You'll start saving when you believe you're worthy of security. You'll invest when you believe your future is worth building. You'll stop overspending when you believe you're already enough without needing to prove it. Again, referring back to the book, Morgan Housel says, the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. And you know what? That really hit me hard. Because think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'll be successful when? Just like you do with your fitness goals, I'll feel better when. Then you hit it and it's not enough. You move the goalpost. That's the same pattern we see with fitness and body image. I'll feel more confident when I lose 5 kilos. Then you do, you find another flaw. The chase never ends if the goal is validation. The truth is, peace doesn't come from more, it comes from enough. And that's the emotional work. Learning to hold what you have and say that this is enough for me right now. That's not settling, that's providing you stability. Because money, like fitness, only ever amplifies who you already are. If you're anxious and chaotic, more money won't calm you. It'll just magnify the noise. If you're grounded, grateful, intentional, money becomes a tool for freedom, not for validation. So if you're always chasing that next thing, maybe it's not about the next pay rise or the next side hustle. Maybe it's about learning to trust that you already have enough and you are enough. And this is where lots of people's spending can tell a story. If you ever want to know what's really going on inside you, look how you spend. Every transaction can tell a story. That $15 coffee when you already have one at home. It's not about the caffeine, it could be about the habit, the comfort, the online shopping cart that keeps growing when you've had a rough week. It's not about needing more clothes. It's about wanting to feel something good after feeling flat. That untouched savings account you keep dipping into, that you might say, I don't trust myself to hold on to good things. Money isn't just money. It's emotion in motion. We emotionally spend for the same reason we emotionally eat, scroll, or snap at someone we love. It's regulation, right? It's control when we feel out of control. It's a distraction when we feel tired or we're sitting in discomfort within ourselves. And here's the thing, it's not bad. You're human. You're not weak or stupid. You're just trying to soothe something. But here's where it becomes really powerful. Once you can see the pattern, you can change it. So next time you're about to tap your card, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what am I really craving right now? Am I lonely? Am I stressed? Am I trying to reward myself with external validation because I feel like no one else sees how hard I'm trying? If you can name the emotion, you can take your power back. And this is where the link to this podcast, guys, isn't just about numbers in our bank account. It's about how this affects our self-worth, how this affects you emotionally, mentally. Because awareness breaks that automatic cycle. And that's where mental health and financial health meet. When you start responding instead of reacting. Same with your physical health, right? When you start responding to what your body's telling you rather than reacting with food, with people, with spending money, that's when things change. That's when you shift from survival mode into self-trust. And you're probably thinking, why does this matter? And I want to end this episode with why this matters for your health and for your life. Because financial health isn't about money, it's about energy. It's about the weight you carry every time you open your banking app, the guilt you feel spending on yourself, or the panic that hits when an unexpected bill arrives. That's constant stress. It's not just in your head, it's in your body. When your finances feel chaotic, your nervous system never switches off. Your sleep suffers. When your sleep suffers, your mental health suffers, your gut health suffers. When your gut health suffers, your brain also suffers. It is just a circle. Your patience gets shorter. You start snapping at people you love or losing motivation in the gym because you're just mentally maxed out. And eventually, it doesn't matter how clean you eat or how hard you train, your body is still living in survival mode. And that's why I believe your relationship with money is just as important as your relationship with your food, your movement, or your rest. Because money sits underneath everything we do. It shapes our safety, our choices, and our sense of freedom. And everybody wants to feel free. When your relationship is healthy, you feel lighter. You stop chasing, comparing, or panicking. You start breathing again. Financial health is about trusting yourself, trusting that you can earn, spend, save, and enjoy without guilt. Trusting that you're not defined by a number in your account, just like you're not defined with a number on the scale. Trusting that you're capable of building the life that feels stable and calm, not just busy and burnt out. So I hope you got a lot out of today's episode. I'm going to wrap it up there. So if you can take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Healing your finances is healing your nervous system. It's creating space for peace. It's building a version of yourself that no longer needs to prove, perform, or panic. Because you know you're safe. And that's why this matters. Because when your money feels steady, your mind does too. And this comes down to your perception. You already have enough. It's how you look at it. Because we're all rich. If you have a house over your head, food in your mouth, clothes on your back, and you're living, you're rich, right? But if you don't see that, you're captive to this vicious circle. And when your mind is calm, everything else calms. Your body, your relationship, your confidence, and everything begins to follow. So I hope this helps. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. And remember, if this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, wealth isn't about more, it's about enough. And you, exactly as you are already worth it. Until next time.